Hello, fellow fools, and welcome to your timeless pick a pile reading with your host. My name is Bren. I use they, them pronouns, and I will be guiding you through this magical card reading psychic experience today. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. We are so happy to have you here. The way that this works is this recording is recorded during the time of the full moon in Leo in 2026. However, this doesn't mean that you can't watch this at any other time of year, So if you're called to watch this video, you're welcome to take the insights that resonate with you and leave the rest, obviously. And my hopes are that you will get something very profound and meaningful out of these readings. Okay, so the way that it works is that I'm going to do a quick little overview about this full moon and the astrological energies that we're feeling with this full moon. And then from there, we're going to do a collective reading. And then you can pick your pile, whether you want to go with like the more tarot oriented pile or the oracle pile. And that will all be in the timestamps as well. So you can skip through things if you don't want to listen to the astrology, but want to listen to the readings, whatever you would like, this is for you. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the full moon Leo. This is the chart that the full moon Leo is exacting for this time of year. So we've got a lot of Aquarius energy in the sky right now. We've got the sun, obviously, in Aquarius. We can't have a Leo full moon without the sun being in Aquarius. So that's shining a light on the Leo emphasis. And then we also have Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and money even, also close by opposing that moon. Mercury's also in Aquarius, Mars, and Pluto as well. So all of these Aquarian energies are facing or opposing this Leo moon. Now, what does that mean? It can mean a lot of different things, and there's other things going on in the chart as well, but I'm just called to that. That's like the biggest thing that's drawing my attention right now to speak on. The biggest thing is that Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So this is an energy about like socialization. It is the collective social aspect. We have Gemini and Libra, who are also air signs that are also more of the social aspects of the zodiac. But Aquarius is more of the bigger picture. Libra is more one-on-one. Gemini is more like playful, I guess, kind of like educational kind of information collecting through socialization. And then Aquarius is the more collective, like, okay, what are the bigger goals of things? I like to think of Aquarius as the constellation, and I like to think of the Leo energy as a star. So they are sibling signs. They are related, so they're opposing each other. They can see each other really well. Air and fire actually get along pretty well, but sometimes when we see our own reflection or see ourselves reflected in others, it can be triggering because sometimes we see things in others like shadows that we have, but we really don't like to see or look at. So we can tend to project things onto the other side. So this is kind of the energy that I'm feeling right now for this Leo full moon, is that we are really trying to get clear on what our goals and desires are. What are the things that make us feel like shining and showing up? What are our dreams, and how is that associated with the collective dream as well? Because if our star is not shining brightly, then the constellation that our star is in is not going to be as easily seen or recognized. If the Big Dipper was missing a star, it wouldn't really look like the Big Dipper, would it? So this is what we're being challenged to address at this time, is our individuality versus how our individual dreams are showing up to serve the collective as well. Okay, so there is a little tension because Leo is very dramatic. We love a Leo. We love the drama, Leo's also associated with cats, so that's why I am wearing my leopard print. I don't know, cat print, let's just say. And so it's about, I think of like big cats especially, or just regular cats in general. They are very good at being the main character in a lot of ways. I think that's kind of what I'm getting at here. It's the sun. Again, Leo's ruled by the sun, which is like the main character of the sky. Like, we cannot ignore when the sun is out. It's very obvious. And in fact, sometimes when the sun is out, well, usually when the sun is out, we can't see other stars because it's so bright, it blinds us from the rest. So then when the moon comes out, or when nighttime comes, when the sun goes away, then more can be seen. So this is really about a focusing of energy that I'm feeling for this full moon, is that like, what is drawing in your focus? The sun is like our purpose. This is what our world revolves around. So whatever zodiac sign you are, that is what your world revolves around. So for me, Pisces, I'm a Pisces. So my world revolves around those Piscean things in my 12th house. That's where my Pisces is. But you might want to look in your chart to see where your sun is and what is your world revolving around. What house is your world revolving around? And try to get clear on what dreams and goals you have for that and how you're allowing yourself to shine in those ways. Because by you allowing yourself to shine and you not dimming your light for others actually will allow other people to get their dreams met too. So an example that is coming to mind is like, if you wanted to start a business, you wanted to start your own theater. Let's just say it's a Leo full moon. It's all about the performer and, you know, the spotlight. So say you want to start a theater company and you're just kind of really down in your luck and you're like, I don't know, I just don't think I could do it. This is like a silly dream. Like, I need to be more serious and be a lawyer or something. I don't know. But you never know. Like, if you really followed your dream of opening this theater company, all of these actors could find a place where they could achieve their dreams because they want to be actors. And so if you didn't follow your dream, those people who you could have served and helped, they are not going to have that opportunity. So the big advice here is to make sure that you are allowing yourself to follow your dreams in service of the collective. Okay? Because sometimes it's really not selfish to follow your dreams. It's not selfish to put yourself first, especially if you are of service to the greater collective. I'm also feeling a lot of transformation right now with just Pluto being involved in all of this energy. And in the last week or two, all of these planets have transited over this Pluto energy, transforming them, really going, digging deep beneath the surface, really seeing and analyzing these energies for what they truly are, and seeing things that maybe we were ignoring before. So this is just an indication to remember that life is not stagnant. We're meant to grow. We're meant to change. And if you are stubborn and refusing to change, then it's going to be a lot harder for you when that's just naturally what's happening. Both Aquarius and Leo are fixed signs. So that means that they are in the middle of a season. They're fixed in their season. So Aquarius, for example, we are fixed in winter. We're right in the middle of winter during Aquarius season in the northern hemisphere, of course. And then Leo season, that's right in the middle of summer. So it's very much like the pure essence of that season. So just know that like stubbornness can be great sometimes, because if you know, and you want to hold your ground if it's meant to be, but also just leave a little bit of room also for like changing or transforming certain stubborn mindsets if it's in benefit of yourself and the greater good. All right. So the mantra of this lunation is don't let pride get in your way. This is the Leo full moon mantra from the Moonology deck. And that's so true. Like, don't let pride getting in your way. It doesn't mean that you want to ignore your ego. It doesn't mean that you want to ignore that part of you that wants to shine. It just means that you have a purpose here that only you can achieve. And if you, let what people might think of you when you go after this dream, like, get in your way, or if you are too prideful to even go for your dreams, or maybe you're on the opposite side of the spectrum where you're just so interested in yourself and your own dreams that you forget about the collective. There's a balance that is being called here, because again, the sun is in Aquarius. The moon is at 13 degrees Leo. So especially if you have, anyway, we won't get into all that. But that's the push and pull of, are we needing to shine more and let ourselves be seen more? Or are we needing to offer more to the collective? It's a balancing act that we're trying to negotiate here within our lives. You can look at your own personal chart again to get more information on this. So if you do have a lot of Leo energy, for example, but not a lot of Aquarius energy, you might want to lean more into that Aquarian energy in order to balance out that Leo energy and allow that Leo energy to more authentically shine. And vice versa, if you have a lot of Aquarius energy, maybe not a lot of Leo, you want to find more Leo ways of expression. All right. So without further ado, that will conclude our astrology overview of this full moon lunation that we're experiencing at the time of this recording. And we are going to pull some cards for the collective reading. So I do have this Elements of the Source deck to start. This is an oracle deck, and it's by I don't see that it has an author on here, does it? Oh, Kenna Ross. Kenna Ross designed this deck. I got this at Meow Wolf. So this is the first deck that we're going to be working with. Oh my gosh, and all of the cards are a little sticky. Okay, we've got a card here. And then the other deck that we're going to be working with is an Exploratory Arts 2008 playing card deck that I made in my art school in 8th grade, I think. It was like one of our, what's it called? Yeah, just like a creative arts project that we all did as a class. We made this deck and each of us designed a different card. So this is a playing card deck, but we're going to use this as the tarot today because you can read playing cards as tarot. Okay. So I thought it was kind of fun to bring out this deck because I have never used it for divination, and it's something that I participated in creating. I've always wanted to create my own deck, and then I realized like I actually already have in a way. So along with my classmates from that time in my life. So if 2008 is also a has special meaning for you, this could be extra confirmation that this reading is definitely for you. Additionally, I just want to say the numerology of 2008, 2 + 0 + 0 + 8 is 10. And we're actually in a 10-year this year as well. It is, at the time of recording, 2026, and 2 + 0 + 2 + 6 is also 10. So, or you can also simplify it even more to say 1, but it just seems like there's some sort of connection of maybe that time period that we can be learning from. So maybe you just like look and reflect back to 2008, like what was going on at that time. What kind of things were you creating? Because again, this is a Leo full moon that we're being illuminated those Leo qualities within ourselves of performance and creativity. And Leo's also associated with children, like that childlike wonder of creativity and just letting yourself create without feeling like it needs to be a certain way or purposeful or just being in the flow state of creation. Okay, so the first card we have here, wow, it's Ruin. The core is purity, sub-trick is corruption, and it says, it is the fall that injures you. Now this is a really intense card. This is quite intense, okay? And it seems like there's like these 3 figures behind with red eyes kind of looking at the main figure, and the main figure is like their face is like melting almost, and it seems like there's almost like 2 faces trying to emerge from one being. So it seems like the ruin, this is giving a little bit of tower energy. And if you're familiar with tarot, the tower is like that moment in life where everything is just falling to hell. Like it's just like when it rains, it pours. It's like, oh my gosh, will this ever stop? It feels like one thing after another, after another, after another. And it's just like, when will I get a break? So with this, I'm feeling it more as like a judgment, like people judging you, or you feeling so concerned about how people are perceiving you that you lose your sense of self. And this is very timely for this Leo full moon. The performer, you know, sometimes performers get so caught up in what are the critics saying about my performance, or how am I being perceived by the people watching me, instead of really diving deeper into their authenticity of their art. So this is, I think, a warning for us to just keep in mind that, you know, the fall that injures you. So, ooh, this is so good. I'm feeling like a pedestal energy. When we put ourselves, or we have such high standards for ourselves or other people, we put them on a pedestal or put ourselves on this pedestal. It's impossible to stay up there. It's going to be really easy to fall from there, because we're going to make mistakes. Other people are never going to be that vision of perfection that we have in our head sometimes. So this card, ruin, saying that like the thing that's going to hurt you the most is that fall from grace, is that pedestal deteriorating, or that reality check of like, wow, I didn't realize that I was even pedestaling things, and now I'm seeing things for what they truly are, and it's not pretty, or it's giving me like a lot of heartache because I had this idea of how things were going to be and now they're not. So I do feel like the medicine of this card is to really focus on yourself. Don't focus on what other people are perceiving or how you're going to be perceived by others, whatever. Really truly tap into your heart space. Leo is, I mean, definitely ruled by the solar plexus, but I also really think about Leo with the heart led, you know, a really healthy Leo. They're someone who really cares about their pack. You know, they're the lions of the zodiac. So, yeah, just really caring for their pack as a whole rather than just the individual, but also nurturing themselves within that pack. You know, a lion, like that's the king of the jungle, right? I don't even know do lions even live in the jungle? I don't know, but you get what I mean, hopefully. But I am really feeling for you, like, get clear on what's yours and what's others. Like, are you projecting stuff onto other people, or are they projecting onto you? Get really clear on what your true goals are, because there just does seem to be like this internal struggle that we collectively are facing at this time about like really wanting something or desiring something or feeling obligated, or not feeling obligated, but like wanting something for ourselves, but then the other side that's feeling obligated to be something else because that's more palatable for other people or whatever. So corruption. Okay. I also want to talk about that corruption word, because that has been on my mind a lot, especially in the country that I'm living in. I love the United States. I am an American, and obviously like I have a lot of pride in my people and my country for a lot of reasons, but I also have a lot of disgust and a lot of disappointments that I feel about my home country, especially with a lot of the corruption that's going on just on a daily basis with how we use our resources as a country. So I don't want to get too into that, but you know, anything that's on the big level, that could be reflective of what's also happening on the smaller level. So as above, so below. If there's a lot of corruption happening on a global scale, there must be certain corruptions also happening in our day-to-day lives in smaller ways, you know. So I do think that Spirit is trying to bring us an opportunity of learning what ways that we are corrupting our own lives, and maybe, or where we're witnessing corruption. And if we're witnessing that corruption, are we doing something to correct it? Are we going to just let it happen and witness it and just let it be? Or are we going to do something to try to resolve that corruption? Because that's what's also going to give us a sense of ruin, or a sense of unpleasantness, I guess. It's like if you witness an injustice and you don't do anything about it, that's going to eat you alive. You know, you're going to go back and think about that and be like, dang, I really should have done something, you know? So just trust your heart. If you see an injustice, you should speak up. You should say something. You should do something. You don't have to necessarily, like, if you see a fight going out, like, you don't necessarily have to go in there and break it up. Be like, let's be friends. Like, stay safe, obviously. And again, listen to your heart, listen to your gut, because not all situations are meant to be dealt with in the same way. But like, say your boss is, you know, paying you a lot more than your coworker who does the same work as you do. And so that's not right. That's not right. So you speaking up, you speaking to your coworker and just saying like, hey, just by the way, I found out that we have the same job and I'm making way more money than you. Like, you should ask for a raise. Or whatever it is, you know, that you need to do. But it does seem like you have this purity about you, and you can enact positive change in the world, even if it's these small things. These small things can add up very profoundly. So don't think that your voice doesn't matter, because it definitely does. And you have more power than you think you do. So don't misuse it. Okay. The next card we have, yes, we have the Two of Hearts, otherwise known as the Two of Cups, which is known as like this love card in the tarot. And it is like so interesting. This card has some sort of bend in it. So I'm almost getting like three of swords energy as well with that. Like, there seems to be something piercing your heart as well, but there's also an untarnished heart as well. So I'm feeling for you some sort of like relational connection that you're having with people. I am seeing like a romantic connection. So if you are in a romantic partnership, this could be some sort of severing of some kind. I feel like that's pretty severe to say, but that was the word that came up, like some sort of like maybe disappointment that you had with a partner, or just some sort of reality check. Again, that pedestal maybe you put your partner on a pedestal and then they proved to you that they're not always going to be there, and then you're just all disappointed and you're like, well, what does this mean for our relationship? Is this something that we can maintain or not? If you're single, or if you're seeking romantic partnership, this can mean there's something. I'm getting a few different messages. It is a collective reading, so this could be different for a lot of people, but either you are wounded in your desire for that romantic partnership, and so it's hard to attract what you are looking for or what you're wanting, because you're so wounded, you kind of don't see what's right in front of you. You don't see the love that's right in front of you. And then on the other meaning that I was getting is that whatever your soulmate, you know, so you can have more than one soulmate, by the way. Just I'm just using that terminology because people usually understand that means like a destined love partner that can offer you a lot of learning in this lifetime. So I am seeing that maybe the person that you're trying to attract in, that person's really wounded and not able to meet you. There does just seem to be like some sort of disconnect between us and our romantic partners, whether they're with us or in spirit, whatever. We are definitely bonded in the spirit realm, so you might be feeling the energy of your soulmate, but there's some sort of disconnect I'm feeling. So the best thing to do is like in working these cards together is really to continue to, try to resolve the corruption. Try to, like, if you're wounded, try to just take care of yourself. Like, there's many more types of therapy than talk therapy, but if you're in talk therapy, great, do that. If you want to, maybe you should. There's opportunities to do that. Additionally, there's other therapies like sound healing. Maybe you want to go the woo-woo route and get a tarot reading or something. But it seems like there's some sort of invitation for you to seek therapies that will connect you with other people, that will help you heal your idea of romantic relationships or relationships in general. I do really love the colors that are shown in this exploratory arts deck of this Two of Hearts. The hearts are pink, and there's like a bunch of green like stars. It almost looks like constellations, like we were talking about earlier, surrounding them. And the pink and green symbolize the heart chakra, like we were talking again. So this is really about healing the heart, and anything that the heart needs. That's the focus. That's where we should be filling. Because sometimes our mind and our hearts are not connected. Sometimes we're taught, especially in Western societies, to ignore what the heart's saying because you need to think logically and you need to blah, 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 you know? But that neglected heart is hurting. So we need to nourish that more, and that should definitely be the focus. And with the background also being so blue, that's our throat chakra. So that's going to be a lot about communicating what we need. I learned I'm still learning this lesson. Like, I'm learning to ask for help. Like, I feel like as someone who shows up to serve a lot, and I'm here to heal, and I'm here to be of service to so many people, I get uncomfortable or even feel a sense of like unworthiness of receiving healing from other people, because I'm like, oh, well, I'm the one who needs to have all their stuff together because I've always been the one who has to take care of people, or whatever the narratives that I was giving myself, you know? So this is about really, this happened earlier. This month, I'm going to give you this example because, I didn't want to give this example, but here's me being vulnerable to you, opening my heart so then we can clean the wound and hopefully heal it, right? So I had surgery earlier this month, and my friend Lily had offered me help, and I was like a little woozy from the medications that I was on. So I was like feeling fine. I was like, no worries, I don't need your help, it's fine. And then she just had the impression that I was fine and I didn't need her. But then the next few days, the surgery was catching up to me, and I was healing, and I was really wanting her support, but I didn't ask her for help because I felt like she didn't reach out to me. Even though I had forgotten that she had offered help, I was just woozy from my drugs. So my ego, my pride was getting in the way, because I was like, well, she must just not care about me, or she must just be too busy to take care of me when I need it. So I'm not even gonna like ask, you know? And then I lost out on an opportunity for her to show up for me. And we did resolve it. We talked about it, and she did show up for me in like such beautiful ways. And I apologized to her too. I was like, I was in this narrative of like, also I was really sensitive with the surgery that I had. So, you know, it's an emotionally, sensitive thing to go through. So we worked it out, but in retrospect, I definitely learned that I need to ask for help. And sometimes you have to ask for help more than once, and just make sure that you're asking the right people for the right things. And yeah, the real ones will be there for you. They love you, and there's more help available to you than you're sometimes allowing yourself to receive. So don't break your own heart by not letting people in who can actually help. Because sometimes the healing process is painful at first, you know, like putting alcohol in the wound to cleanse it, but then it's clean. And so it can actually properly heal instead of being infected and becoming a bigger issue. Okay. So that concludes our collective reading. Now we are going to go into the pick a pile portion of this video. So we're going to start with pile number 1. This is going to be the elements of the source deck, oracle deck. And the crystal that accompanies this one is going to be this carnelian, this red, smooth carnelian, good hefty stone here. And then you are pile number 2 if you want to go with this exploratory arts deck, and Pyrite, one of my favorite crystals of all time. So take a look at those timestamps. Feel free to scroll towards which pile you'd want to listen to. You can also listen to both if you'd like. If you're called to both, that's totally fine. Just know that it is a collective reading, so just take what resonates, leave the rest, and you'll get what you need. So without further ado, we're going to start with pile number 1. Welcome, pile number 1s. Oh my gosh, you already have cards flying out, so welcome, welcome. Right, we've got 2 here. Wait, there's some stickiness in here. So we have 3 here. Maybe with the stickiness too is maybe you're working through something right now, maybe some sticky feelings. I'm feeling some like, oh, I don't really want to do that. Like I'm thinking about like honey that is, and it's kind of interesting. I actually have a beeswax candle burning. Bees have been coming up a lot, and bees symbolize the hive mindset, and like being like, okay, we're all working together for a common goal. All of our survival depends on each other's like work that we're giving each other. So keep that in mind, that we are a collective, we're in this together, and community is really important. Also, what I was saying earlier was like the stickiness of this. What spirit was like giving me as a visual is like that piece, like that sticky honey that's on a countertop. Like you actually accidentally dropped some honey on the countertop. And if you just let it sit there, it starts collecting like fuzz or other things that the kitchen, or crumbs or whatever. And then it just is like sticky and hardening and gross there. So this is our invitation to look at those honey drops that were misused or just like mistakenly put somewhere where it shouldn't be, and cleaning it up. Let's wipe those countertops. Let's scrub it down. I'm really feeling like a scrubbing energy of like, it's been dried there for a while. It's been collecting gunk. So now it's going to be a little harder to clean because we didn't even maybe realize it was there. Or we just like were ignoring it because we didn't want to deal with it at the time, or we didn't have time or whatever. So this is an invitation to clean that out. Honey symbolizes sweetness of life too. So sometimes like certain sweetnesses in life, like eating too much candy, it actually can be harmful for you. It can deteriorate your teeth. It can be bad for your health, right? But a sweet treat here now and then is fine. So this is also about moderation, I'm feeling like, for us. So the sweetness of life, sometimes I'm feeling like we try to get into, we love our dopamine hits. So anything that you're indulging in, it could be food, but it also could be like scrolling. It could be anything that's giving you a hit of dopamine. There's some moderation that's being called in here. It's like not everything that's sweet will stay sweet, again, like eating all those chocolates and candies that will deteriorate your teeth. So just try to identify what in your life you've been overindulging in and try to find some moderation. It doesn't mean that you have to take that away, but there needs to be more boundaries put in place for what you're engaging in with those sweetness things. And that could be relationships too. Like sometimes we escape through relationships and it's like, oh, it's so easy to cuddle this person and just watch TV and like escape from life. But also, if you do that too much, you lose sight of your goals and your dreams, and you're just kind of wasting time, So that's that imagery. Very interesting. So that was the stickiness here. We have 3 cards. I'll reveal them. Okay, they all came out upside down, but I'm going to read them right side up, honestly, because I think this deck, I think they're all in one direction, so I don't really think there are any reversals on here. Okay, the first card we have is Power and Form, and it's like this image of a masculine person in a suit holding the city in their hands and like blue glowing light coming out of their eyes. It's pretty intense here. So the core is power, the sub trick is chaos, and it says execute the plans you have made. Ooh, I love this. This is giving it's time to take action for you. You've been you have the whole world in your hands. You have all the potential in your hands. But if you're not taking action, if you're not putting physical form to your dreams, all they will be is dreams. We need to get the earth in there. So if you, again, like let's go back to that beginning example we had in the collective reading about you want to start a theater company. If you don't do your research, you don't even start the LLC, it's like, it's not going to be anything. Like, why don't you take one step at a time? You need to bring things into form, and now's the time. This is what they're saying. Now's the time. And it is going to feel chaotic. It's like, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if? There's always going to be what ifs, but what if it ends up being the best thing that ever happened to you? What if it ends up not only serving you, but your community and making an impact for the greater good at large? Execute the plans you've made. Like, you have a vision. It's time to put it into action. Again, like to start a theater company, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to just arrive out of thin air, but we need to take the steps to build it because you have the power to create and move things to manifest what you desire. But if you don't start that LLC, or you don't start researching properties where you can host your theater company, and if you don't start asking people for help or networking or whatever, it's just never going to happen. So the more that you start bringing things into form, be like, cool, I signed my LLC. It's like written in paper. It's set in stone. I created the bank account, the business bank account for this company. And this is my business plan. It's on paper. I wrote it out. Like, these are the things. And it doesn't have to be super professional. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like, the biggest thing, I think that's what was coming up in the ruin at the beginning of the collective reading. It's like, you're pedestaling this vision so much that you don't even want to start climbing it. It's just like getting more and more out of reach. You got to start somewhere, and perfection lies in the imperfection. So, and also perfection is uncanny valley vibes. You know, have you ever seen something like so perfect it's like it doesn't even look real? You know, we see that a lot with AI. And so it's like, okay, you know, perfection sometimes is not even what you want. So keep that in mind for this first part of the reading. We also have Desire and Oblivion. This is the card that's coming up here. It's like this person falling from the sky, and they have a keyhole in the back of their back. And it says, yeah, the core is desire, the subtrick is absence, and it says nothingness is erasure and creation. Ooh, this is giving me the Fool vibes, like the Fool from the tarot. And obviously this is Fortune of the Fool, and we are fellow fools here. We love to have that foolish energy of like taking the leap and trusting that we will be caught. And like we are always, at any given part of our lives, we are the Fool. We are infinite potential. We are, anything can happen in a lot of ways. It's just, are we living the lives in accordance to, sure, our desires, but also our just instinct? Because you don't want to just jump off the cliff to jump off the cliff if everyone else is doing it. Like, don't jump off the bridge just because your friend's doing it. But if in your soul you're like, for some reason I'm just being called to jump, then you need to take that dive, because you never know what kind of thrill that might give you or what potential that would give you. You take the leap, you land in this beautiful pool of water, and you're cleansed, you're purified, you find, I don't know, mermaid friends, and it's giving very fantastical energy. So it's kind of the opposite of this, where it's like, let's get practical. And then this is like, yes, and dream big, and anything's possible, you know? But I'm feeling for this is also like action. Action's important. And again, it doesn't have to be a full leap. A baby step is still a leap for some people, like especially people who really don't like to take a risk. You know, one baby step's fine. The example that I'm getting is like, you don't need to spend like $1,000 in lottery tickets to go where you want to go, but you could spend $1, get $1 scratch ticket. Who cares? It's $1, you know? Okay. The last card we have is, oh my gosh, it's Desire. The hand that reaches, yearning, limits, or upraises. So it's really interesting. I don't think you're going to be able to see it in this video. I'm going to try to bring it in really close. But there's actually a key at the top of this mountain. And from the card before, the keyhole was in your back of this figure. So it seems like there's a story that's revealing itself to you. Like, you're so close. I'm getting the sense of like 9 of Wands almost, where it's like you're so tired, you're almost to the end of this journey, but you almost want to give up, because it's like, I'm just so tired. Like, I've been at this forever. I'm just seeing a lot of negativity around me. I have been losing hope. I can't go on. And this is promising you that like your desires, you have desires for a reason. And your finish line is just up this mountain. And this mountain looks like it looks like dark and spooky and not easy necessarily to walk up, but it also doesn't seem like it's impossible. It seems like you could do it in like an hour. It's not like doesn't even look like it would take you all night. And you have the moon The full moon, mind you, again, this is a Leo full moon that we're doing this reading in, that's illuminating your way. There is darkness. There's all of these cards are super dark. And it's up to you to find the light in the darkness through your own vision. Like in that first card, like you can see the light. Your hope is what's illuminating you. And also it seems like spirit and like things that you can't even fathom, like the moon's helping you. And it's like, okay, well, what does that even mean? Like, it's like there's spirits, there's energies like that want to help you. And again, you achieving your dreams, you allowing your dreams to come true, you going for that can help other people's dreams come true. So don't deny other people their dreams by denying your own. Okay. All right. We're going to wrap this reading up with our good luck chicken. If you've been here before, you are familiar with the good luck chicken. But if you're new here, in this bowl, this chicken bowl, there are a bunch of good luck charms here. And I'm going to pick one randomly to share with you what your good luck is moving forward for this journey that you are embarking on. Ooh, I grabbed one and then it went away. So we're going to go with this one. Oh my gosh, it's a chicken! You got the chicken out of the chicken bowl. Here's this. Can you see it good enough? It's a beautiful white chicken. Chickens are life givers. That's kind of what I feel like. They have the potential, like they can lay eggs, and the eggs can be other chickens. They could be roosters, or they could be food. There's a lot of potential that chickens can create. They also will eat anything. So it just seems like resourcefulness is a big word for you as well. Like what's going to be bringing you good luck is knowing that, you know, you're resourceful. And even though if you're going to open this theater company and you don't have all the money or whatever to open it, it's like you have resources. Maybe you can get a loan, or maybe someone believes in you that can help guide you towards that goal, you know? So just your luck is going to come from your self-belief. And also it's a white chicken, and white symbolizes purity and new beginnings and a sense of like godliness, you know? And so this is just saying that your dreams and your potential is pure and part of your destiny, and part of not only your destiny but the destiny of us all. You also might have a special relationship with animals. So if you have an animal that you have at home, or you have a lovely bond with, like, you know, I have Kiki up here. This is Kiki the dog. She's my niece. Technically, she's my brother's dog, and I love her so much. Obviously my brother gave this to me. And so she's always in my videos now, but she's always watching over me, you know? And so I just always think about her. And I also, you can't see in frame, but I have Fred here. Fred's my new kitty cat. Maybe she will come say hello in a bit, I hope. But, you know, there's just a lot. It's not just human nature that we're not just serving our dreams for the humans. We're serving our dreams for the world at large, the universe at large, beings that we might not even know, you know? Like I leave food outside. My neighbor Nancy, she passed away, but she taught me, like, she used to always feed her squirrels because she worked at a restaurant and they always had leftover food, and she hated it going to waste or going in the trash can. So she would bring it home and feed the squirrels. Now, I don't recommend you do that necessarily, but by her doing that, she offered her support to other beings. So your good luck is like, you never know how that might be returned. Because like if you feed a crow, you never know when that crow might protect you from something else, you know? There's, you know, animals have different senses than we do. So maybe you also want to look up chickens and see what other good luck they have to offer you. Okay, my friends? And with that concludes our pile number 1 readings. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment too. I would love to know like what you got out of this reading, or if you had additional insights to share for the collective. Again, sometimes a comment is enough to, you know, help other people be seen. Sometimes a comment seems so trivial and small, but you just never know how far that could help someone. So yeah, definitely like, share, subscribe. And if you also want to book a personal reading with me, you are welcome to do so at fortuneofthefool.com. We can do an astrology reading or a tarot reading or a psychic reading. We do a lot of different offerings. So if that interests you, that is linked in the show notes. So thank you so much, pile number ones, for being here. And without further ado, we are going to start with pile number 2. Welcome, pile number 2s. You are a pile number 2 if you chose this Exploratory Arts playing card deck that we're using as a tarot deck. And then also this Pyrite, this familial Pyrite. Oh, and I didn't even talk about the Carnelian in the last group, but maybe it's for you. We're going to talk about both crystals for you. I guess this is for you. All right, so let's start with Carnelian. Carnelian is a Martian stone. It's very red. It's red is associated with like that root chakra. So what gives us a sense of security. So that's our food, shelter, all those things that we need in order to survive, but also our grounding to the earth. And Mars is also associated with our desires and our energy source. So this is giving you a little extra boost of energy at this time, is what I'm feeling for you. If you didn't technically pick this, but it's being offered to you. It's a little extra boost. And then additionally, we have the Pyrite, and this is a familial stone. I got this, I'm pretty sure my brother, my brother had it in his basement, so I'm pretty sure it's from childhood. And I found it recently and asked him if I could have it. He said, sure. And so this is the prosperity that comes from your past. It's the prosperity that comes from your family, maybe as well. So that might be what's grounding you at this time. And family can be blood family for sure, but it also can be chosen family. So keep that in mind while we draw these cards. So I don't usually do this, but if you have like a question in mind or like something specific in mind to be answered during this reading, think about that now. Think about that now. If you don't, that's fine. Well, you're going to get messages regardless, but I do feel like some of you might have like something aching at you or calling at you that like wants to be answered. So this is the answer to that question. Okay. So our first card is the King of Diamonds. This translates to the King of Pentacles. I'm actually going to draw them all at once because I want them all to be connected. We have an 8 of Hearts. Wow, this one's really hard to see as well. But this is the 8 of Hearts, and this translates to the 8 of Cups. And last but not least, we have the Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades. Cool. Well, we've got 3 different elements going on. We've got the earth realm. We've got, the material reality. We've also got our emotions. And we've got our mind and our thoughts and our communication. So we'll start with this king. The King of Pentacles is really cool that it's coming up because yesterday I was recording a Foolish Friends podcast that you can also see on this channel with my dear friend Alana, and they drew this card. We did a tarot draw at the very beginning, and Alana drew the King of Pentacles for that. And what we were talking about with that is the Saturn return Pisces. That was like what the topic of the video was. So maybe I'll link that with this video if you want to learn more about Saturn Pisces. That might be additional information for you that could really help you through this time. But King Pentacles is like the king of the material realm. This is someone who has the resources not only for themselves, but to also share with their kingdom. Right? And there are certain kings out there that are better than others. We are very aware of that, through history and through what we're witnessing even now today with certain people who symbolize this authoritative person in power. So this is a calling to you to really get clear on like, what kind of kingdom do you want to run? What kind of king do you want to be? Because those who wear the crown, that big responsibility there, with great power comes great responsibility. So don't use that responsibility irresponsibly. Because yes, it's nice to treat yourself. Yes, it's nice to like prioritize yourself and stuff. But if you are so invested in yourself and like put all of your resources just into yourself, your kingdom suffers, and that's who's also supporting you. So then your crops and, like, you know, the peasants or the farmers, I hate to use those words, like the peasant, but that's just what comes up. The farmers, you know, that support your kingdom, that then feed you and stuff, if you're not giving them resources back after what they've given you, their crop yield is going to be a lot less, and then you're going to have less. So this is just saying, like, also you don't want to give too much, because then the kingdom's not as powerful. And again, this is metaphorical, so hang in with me here. Then if you give all your power away, the kingdom is weak, and then the everyone's weak. You know, we need to have strong leadership. That is the key word here, is strong leadership. And going back to the full moon Leo, Leo is associated with leadership. These are people who are steady and strong, and, like, again, depending on how healthy they are, but, you know, they are the leaders of the zodiac. They can be the hearth fire that everyone can come to, that's steady and reliable, as long as they continue, you know, feeding that fire. But if you don't feed the fire regularly and you let it just burn out, then people don't really have a place to be led or, like, warm up or cook their food or whatever. So it's a really powerful position, this King of Diamonds, this King of Pentacles for us in pile number 2. It's seeming that, you know, you can hold your own. You're not going to be perfect all the time. You're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm feeling that pedestal energy again from the collective reading we had at the beginning. So if you didn't watch that, definitely do. It has additional messages that, yeah, are related, which is really interesting. In this video, both pile number 1 and 2 were very connected to the collective reading, more so than usual. So if you skipped it, go back. I recommend. But yeah, just know that, like, if you're on a pedestal, the king is put on a pedestal. And so it's really easy for the king to get bad press, because it's like, oh, the king, this is the example that came up. The king farted. Like, oh my gosh, they're not as, like, perfect as we thought. It's like, yeah, the king is a human. Like, don't be silly. You know, there's going to be these moments of that. But I'm also feeling a sense of, like, no press is bad press for you. It's like, oh yeah, the king farted, but now the whole kingdom is thinking about you. And I always, you know, tell spirit, like, no matter what energy people are spending on me, so if they're hyping me up, awesome. But if they are shit talking me, or, you know, saying things about me, like gossiping or whatever, that's fine too, because you know what? They're talking about me, and I can use that energy to transmute that into blessings for me. So this is kind of that saying of, like, if you've got haters, let them hate, because you're the one who wears the crown, and they're probably just jealous. But they'll only be jealous if you maintain that integrity and keep doing your best and following what's right, because you never know when your haters are going to turn into fans. Okay? So that's the first message coming up. The 8 of Cups is about walking away from something. And the imagery here is so interesting. I'm seeing it's kind of giving, like, Rorschach test / peppermint. It looks like a peppermint patty almost from the inside spiraling out. And so it just seems like there's certain, and it honestly kind of looks, this is from the collective reading, the Ruin card. It kind of looks like that face melting too that we were talking about. I'm feeling it dissolving for you. There's just certain things that you don't know, certain parts of you that are not who you are anymore. And so you need to let them go and walk away from that, so then you can step into your happily ever after. Because an 8 of Cups is really close to that 10 of Cups. Even a 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups are awesome, like, energies, in my opinion, most of the time, especially the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is like the happily ever after, my absolute favorite. Well, I have a lot of favorite cards, but it is really one of my favorites. So this is just saying, like, if you want that happily ever after, you have to sacrifice something. Something has to be given up for you to have what you desire. And it's going to be hard to walk away from that thing. But what you'll realize is, once you walk away from that thing, it's not going to be as heavy as you thought. Just give it some time, but it's not going to be as burdensome as you thought. And you're going to find something better pretty soon. but you have to sacrifice. Something has to be sacrificed here. And it is, again, cups, that's emotional, something emotionally sacrificing. So it could be a relationship that you're sacrificing. Like, I used to be really close friends with this person, and now we're just not vibing. So we need to move on from that. But it also could be anything you're emotionally attached to, like even a past version of yourself. Like, oh, I've always been a pole dancer. And so I don't want to walk away from pole dancing because that's a part of my identity in a lot of ways. That's like how people know me in a lot of ways. But also, I'm not finding joy in it anymore. It's not as exciting as it used to be. And maybe I don't need to abandon it forever, but I need to take a break from it. So something like a passion, a hobby, or even like, oh no, some of you, this happened to my friend the other day, and it's really sad, but I do believe it was for the best, is she had to surrender her animal. She couldn't take care of this animal anymore. She just felt like she couldn't offer her pet the life that her pet really deserved. And so she surrendered that pet. And that is so hard. And she is really struggling with that. But that sometimes is the right thing to do. Sometimes the right thing to do is walking away. So, and again, it could be more metaphorical for you, but whatever you were asking about, maybe you need to just let it go. It is what it is. And once you let it go, the blessings of whatever that was, whatever mistake it was, or whatever pain it offered you, it will be resolved in some kind of way. I definitely do feel like it'll be okay, but you have to walk away. You have to let something go. Okay. And the great thing about that is once you let it go, there is this promise of a new beginning. So there's this letting go emotionally, and then there's a new mental or communicative new beginning. Again, the Ace of Swords is about, aces are about potentials, so nothing promised, but there's this new seed being planted about like, okay, I let go of this thing. Now I can strategize and think about things in a new way. New beginnings, especially in like your sense of authority and your sense of like, I can make decisions. I can do the hard thing. And I know that like, as long as I trust myself and I trust my gut and I trust my spirit team, we're going to be fine. There's going to be losses in our life. We're experiencing like mass amounts of collective grief right now. There's like war going on. There's so many, like, at least in my life, a lot of deaths, like literal deaths. And we're witnessing a lot of things, and we're taking in, especially if you're on social media a lot, or if you're online a lot, you're taking in a lot of information all the time that may or may not be serving you. So maybe some of this letting go is also like the emotional attachments you have to certain things. And what's coming up for me personally that you might also experience? I deleted my TikToks. And like, that was something, and I'm like really considering, like, at least really, I'm considering either deleting my other social medias, or besides YouTube. I think YouTube's fine for like, I use it in a healthy way. But Instagram, for example, I don't always engage with it in a healthy way. Reddit, I don't always engage with it in a healthy way. So sometimes you have to walk away from something to then build a new thing. So I have actually like really limited my time on my phone. I've really limited, my escapism tendencies online, because also I'm like viewing news and stuff that's like just so hard to watch. And it's like good to be informed, but also at what cost? What's the balance of being informed versus like what it's doing to your life? And so walking away from some of these things and protecting yourselves can give you more room for other things to show up in a better way. So I've been really limiting my time online, and I've been reading more. And a lot of the reading that I'm doing is research. It's like astrology and like studying like these topics that I'm really interested in. But, now I have more time to actually invest in those things because I'm spending less time escaping through other things. And also it's giving me more of a sense of hope and of the future, because hope is so important for survival. If we didn't have hope, like, what is the point? So this is, I'm feeling a renewal of, okay, new habits, new things that we're engaging in that are healthier, and additionally, new mindsets, new narratives that we are believing in a better, brighter future, even though maybe some of what we're seeing makes us feel helpless. Additionally, I say this often, but a lot of stuff online, especially with AI now, not even real. A lot of things are manufactured. So just also keep in mind that what you see isn't always the truth. So be patient, be curious, investigative, and that's what's going to offer you this like power of the king and feeling really good in your power, feeling confident about what you need to walk away from in order to have this new beginning that is already here. Like I already feel like we've been experiencing this new beginning, but again, when we're like making really big life transformations, it takes time. So it feels drawn out or painful sometimes. I'm feeling a labor. It's like, oh my gosh, we've been pregnant and that was uncomfortable, and now we're in labor and we're birthing ourselves, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a painful experience. I wish I never did this. Like, what's happening to my body? And then, but once that new life is born, it's like all worth it. But even then, like some people with this new birth, they experience like postpartum depression. It's like, okay, that's another thing that we have to address or whatever. But there's the light at the end of the tunnel that needs to be remembered, that this journey of life's not easy, but it's definitely worthwhile if we allow our perspectives to honor that. Okay. So to close this reading out, we are going to pick a good luck charm from the lucky chicken. So if this is your first time here, this lucky chicken bowl is full of a bunch of different good luck charms. So I'm just going to pick something randomly from this chicken bowl, and that will offer us our good luck message. Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever drawn this one before. Let me show you. This is a tiny jar of pickles, like toy pickles, it looks like. It's super cute. I love this. This is I'm feeling patience with this. Patience and nourishment, because to make pickles, you have to put them in a certain environment. You have to like boil the jar. You have to do like all these steps. Like you have to boil the jar and fill it and then like seal it in a right way. And then you have to put it in a cool, dark place to then curate over time, at least several weeks, if not months, to then have the product that you desire that can then be nourishing for you and enjoyable. So it seems like your good luck is going to come from patience and doing your due diligence of just taking one step at a time. It's like, doing things right, because you can mess up pickles if you miss a step. Like if you don't boil the lid, or I forget how you do it. You have to boil it or something. If you don't do that step, or if you don't do that right, then you're going to have like moldy pickles or something, you know? So this is about like, you're going to get the nourishment you need, and you're going to get what you need and enjoy it if you do it right. So your good luck is just to do things by the book in a way. It doesn't mean that you can't break certain rules. Like in your pickle jar, like you don't just have to have cucumbers in there. You could have peppers. Like that's not a traditional pickle, but you can have peppers in there. You could add carrots. You could add things. Like you don't have to do everything by the book, but you have to do the basic process by the book. You know what I mean? So if you're going to start that business or whatever, you need to do it right. You need to do it legally. You need to take those steps. But it doesn't mean, like, some people start a business and they don't have a business plan. Like, okay, like if that's like how you're feeling called to do it, fine, whatever. Just because you don't have a business plan doesn't doom the business. But you see what I'm saying? Your good luck is just going to come from doing things by the book that need to be done by the book. You can break the rules once you know the rules. Okay? So those are the messages that I have for you, pile number 2s. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you would like a personal reading with me, I do astrology, tarot, and psychic readings here in Denver, Colorado, or online. If you'd like to book with me for more personalized insights, Visit fortuneofthefool.com to find out how to do that, and that will be linked in the show notes below. Also, please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I want to make sure that people who need to hear these messages receive them, and you can be the catalyst to make that happen. So thank you so much for doing that. And also, if you enjoyed this reading, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to get to know you and see who's watching these videos and engage with you in ways that are more personal too. Because again, I'm just a person on a screen at this point, but if you comment, then I can know you more and like we can have like an actual conversation. So thank you so much for joining me. Please stay safe. And what else do we need to say? Yeah, enjoy this full moon. And just stay optimistic, find your light, and stay foolish, y'all. Mwah.